What's going on? My name is David Page. I'm a professional guitarist and singer, and my wife Stephanie and I work as musicians on board cruise ships. Tomorrow morning we join our next ship, and the past 48 hours have been absolutely insane, so I'd like to take you along for the ride and show you what we've been up to in our last moments on land before joining the Carnival Vista tomorrow morning. Let's check it out. Friday was our last full day in Chicago before leaving for the contract, and we've been staying at our drummer Dave and his wife Erica's place because we have been watching their dog Dante while they've been on vacation. Friday started nice and early. It was a very full day. Got up at 8 a.m. to start making Stephanie's coffee and took Dante out. By 10 a.m. I was taking Stephanie over to the gym, and then I had to run over to Guitar Center to pick up some extra strings. You never know how many strings are going to break throughout the course of a contract, so it's a great idea to have a couple extra packs of strings on hand. I picked up Stephanie once she was done with the gym, and then it was time for us to get ready for our sushi date. There's this super cute place that's right across the street from the gym where Stephanie works out. It's a rotary sushi place, and we've really grown to love it. We took Ben there last week, and since this evening we will be performing and being the entertainment for other people's Valentine's Day, we thought this would be a really great way for us to have a little date just for the two of us. We spent all of the random free moments that we had throughout the day making sure that we kept our friend's apartment clean and got our stuff all packed up so that we were ready to go. And by 5 o'clock we had to leave so that we could get to the venue on time. Driving from Lakeview all the way out to Wakanda is quite a hike, but it was made a little bit easier listening to Mark Maron's podcast. We were listening to a really cool episode of that, and while we were driving, it started snowing, and then it started to storm. Then all of a sudden it felt like we were in Star Wars, and we were at light speed warping through the stars, and trying to drive started to feel a little bit dangerous, but we were able to get to the venue on time, safely, and get everything loaded in. In hindsight, it may not have been the best idea to book a gig the night before we were supposed to fly out for a cruise ship contract, but we did it anyway. We love to perform, we love to get to do what we do, and to be able to do that on Valentine's Day is a really special thing for the two of us. Music is what brought us together, and so it's a really nice way for us to be able to celebrate that. We played all our favorite Fleetwood Mac songs, we played a ton of 90s pop favorites, and then we finished out the night with a set of 80s rock songs. We finished performing right around midnight, and then we got all our stuff packed up, loaded back into the van. We got settled back in around 1 in the morning, and our eating schedule had been a little bit shifted, so we had a late night snack around 1 and then started focusing on all of the last minute packing. Also, this seemed like a fun time to try skincare for the first time, so I tried this charcoal mask, which was a very strange sensation. It's weird. I did all of the rest of my packing with this mask on, and then once I was done, peeled that off of my face and went to sleep. I finally crashed somewhere around 3:30. At 5:30, the alarm went off, and it was time to get back at it again. All of our suitcases have been double checked. Now it's time to put them in the van, and it's time to head out. Good morning. We are up and at 'em. It's a little bit before 7 a.m. and we are headed back to our storage unit to drop off gear for the PA because we had a gig last night. First stop was the storage unit. We had to put all of our PA equipment back into the storage unit so that it was safe and sound throughout the time that we're on this contract, and we're not going to need it. We just dropped off all our gear at the space, and we decided to leave our winter coats here because although it is absolutely freezing outside,
it's 18 degrees.
It's so cold.
18 degrees Fahrenheit, so I think that's -6 Celsius.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's below zero Celsius.
Below zero for sure. So we decided to leave our coats here just so we don't have to try to bring winter coats back from the Caribbean to Chicago in May when it's really hot in both places. So we're gonna go be cold for a little bit and go return the rental car, catch an Uber to the airport, and be out of here. We're making good time this morning. Next stop, we have to go return the rental car. Luckily, this was just a few blocks up the street, so it was a really nice and easy trip. Thank you, Stephanie, for planning all the logistics on that. She is really, really good at figuring out all of those details so that even though this was a pretty stressful morning, it was the least stress possible because we had all of those details planned out ahead of time. At 8:30, we returned the rental car and called an Uber to take us to O'Hare. It was a really short ride because by 8:45 we were already checking in at O'Hare. We have TSA pre-check, but we also have touchless pre-check. So basically it just scans your face and you don't need to present your ID, you don't need to present your boarding pass or anything like that. All that information is able to be pulled up because of all of the biometric crazy stuff that's involved with that. But it made our check-in process so fast and all of our luggage was underweight. So that felt really good. We didn't have to move anything around last minute and everything was really, really easy. Now our flight wasn't until about 1 p.m. and because we were already checked in by 9 a.m., we got a notification saying that our luggage was, surprise, going to be on an earlier flight than we were going on. And so we had to just trust that our luggage would show up where it needed to show up when we got to Orlando. At first that was pretty scary, but there was a notification within the airline app and also a text message and an email, and all of it said the same information of where to look for our stuff once we would eventually land. All of that was really reassuring, and honestly, we didn't have any other choice other than either stress about it or trust the process. So there's a funny story with our travel arrangements. A couple of weeks ago, we noticed when our flights were assigned to us, we were booked on different flights. We had to get that all sorted out, and we got it figured out pretty quickly. I got moved onto her flight, but then there was another difference in our ticketing. So Stephanie has been upgraded to first class. There was some sort of funny thing where our reservations were booked separately, and hers was booked as a first class ticket, and then by the time we fixed it so I was on the same flight as her, there were no more spaces available. So I am back in row 31 while she's up there in row like 4. Bye. Let's go back to 4 people, man. It's our first time traveling to a ship together and not sitting together. It's a little weird. I think that because of Stephanie's first class ticket, they didn't give us any trouble about bringing the guitar on board, which was really, really nice. It was one of the easiest times we've ever traveled with the guitar, and it just went right into the overhead compartment where it should always go. It was really great, it was really easy, and at least that process of getting our gear from Chicago to Orlando was completely stress-free, so that was really nice. Even though we had very different flight experiences, we were texting back and forth throughout the entire flight, and we were watching a movie together. We watched the new Venom movie, which was really awesome. It's a really, really good movie. And getting to interact with each other and message with each other in similar ways as if we were sitting next to each other was a fun new way for us to still watch the movie together and yet have very different experiences on board. Stephanie was served a glass of champagne before even taking off, and she also was offered a full meal and some sparkling water and stuff like that. Meanwhile, by the time she was done with her meal is when they finally made it back with a complimentary soda and pack of pretzels. When we landed, we checked our notifications and we were informed that our luggage had arrived and it was going to be where it needed to be. And so we went straight to baggage claim, and lo and behold, all of our luggage was right there, all next to each other. We could see it as we were walking up. It was actually the least stressed out I've ever been about whether or not our gear was safe traveling from one part of our contract to another. Once we had our luggage, it was time to go find where our hotel shuttle was, and we just followed the signs, and Stephanie called the hotel, and we eventually figured out exactly where we were supposed to be, and we caught a shuttle. It was really a simple process, and the driver was really nice and helped to lift up our really heavy suitcases into the back of the shuttle, and off we went. We got to the hotel and it was so nice.
Okay, Carnival. Okay.
The lobby is gorgeous. It has this really cool water feature in there. We went up to our room to drop off our luggage, and this room is really, really nice. Really grateful for being put up in such nice accommodations. And it's also really nice to have a comfortable place to rest after the past 48 hours have just been so crazy. Along with our room keys, we were also given our dinner vouchers, and so we went to the restaurant here. Stephanie got a Caesar salad, and I ended up going with these really sweet chili wings. They were so good. And then I also got the blackened mahi sandwich. And now it's the end of the night and we are exhausted. It's about 10:45 and we have to be up super early to catch a 6:45 a.m. shuttle that'll take us over to the ship. So we're gonna get some rest. Make sure you stick around and catch the next video, which will show you our first day on board the Carnival Vista. See you in the next video.